Dad, I am so happy for you. You are finally free of the body that has shackled you for nearly half your life. If I am finding it hard to grieve for you at the moment, I am sure it is because I have already spent the last 42 years grieving. Your grandkids and great-grandkids have only known you after your stroke. The same could be said about the partners and adult friends of your children. Here are a few things they missed because they never knew the man you were prior to your stroke. You had a fabulous work ethic, Dad. It was from you that we learned that showing up early for work, or school, or church meant to be on time, and to show up on time meant to be late. Not only would you show up early, but you would stay late if the job required. When it came time to performing a task, you always preferred quality over quantity, and doing it right the first time so a task would never need to be redone. You always told us how proud you were to be a custodian and how well you and your crew maintained the high school. Dad, you were also a fabulous do-it-yourselfer and loved being self-sufficient. You and Mom always kept a large garden, raising, canning, and freezing enough to keep us fed year-round. You were a beekeeper and helped us learn to use honey instead of sugar whenever we could. We tapped maple trees to make syrup, raised goats for milk, and raised a steer and several pigs for meat over the years. You often took us fishing so we had something different to eat, as well as some well-deserved recreation. When Mom needed a car, you bought an old Ford Falcon and rebuilt the engine long before there was a YouTube video that showed how it should be done. You had visions of implementing renewable energy that never came to fruition, but you spent many hours poring through books and magazines regarding passive solar solutions. You researched and found the most efficient wood stove that money could buy at the time, the Vermont Downdrafter 2 to be precise, and used it to heat the house and water at the same time. The water would get so hot that the hot water heater would occasionally blow off steam, while my brother and I would sleep in our basement bedroom with the windows open all winter, even if it was 20 below outside. When it came time to fix or build something, you were famous for saying, "I need you to come and help. You have to be able to do it yourself should I ever die." Little did we know that the time would come much sooner than we thought where we would have to do it ourselves because you were no longer able to do it on your own. As far as I am concerned, you were the originator of dad jokes long before they were ever called such a thing. When we didn't have the necessary strength or endurance for a task, and you wanted us to flex our biceps, you would tell us they looked like mashed potatoes and rubber bands. If we had salad for dinner, it was always accompanied with real blue cheese. You would strongly encourage us to eat some blue cheese because it put hair on your chest. Of course, we'd promptly look down and pull out our shirt to check for ourselves. Lo and behold, what did we see? By the way, Lynette, how did that work out for you? Dad, you were also famous for picking us up by the ears and having us walk upside down on the ceiling. Skills I put to use when I raised my own kids and grandkids. And, "Here, pull my finger." Yep, taught them that one too. By the way, Dad, your kids also have a term for how one deals with poor customer service. You know, like the time the hardware store would only sell you a roll of copper tubing and not the 2 feet you needed. Remember what you told them? You said you would go to the other place in town because they would sell you an inch if that's what you needed. Yes, Dad, each of your kids has taken their turn going Paul Lund on poor customer service. Dad, I could talk about many, many more things. However, time restraints demand that I provide a starter package. Needless to say, they missed out. We all missed out. I'll tell you though, there's nobody that had a stroke quite like you had, that fought quite like you did, that represented quite like you did, up until the very end. For that, you continued to teach us. We all got first-hand experience and what it means to respect people with disabilities. We love you, Dad. I'm really going to miss you.